Hey guys, it's Tyger, and today I'm bringing you my King Guide. This has been requested for a little bit now, so I'm excited to bring it to you today. I'll be explaining how I handle pressure, chain throws, and my understanding of King's gimmicks overall. So what I mean by pressure is the different ways that I'll be using my highs, my mids, my lows, and my grabs. Now, one way that you can approach your opponent and a good way to open them up, because I get a lot of questions of how do I open someone up with King? And a simple way to do that is, 10 frame drab string. King's got two great ones off rip, 1-2 and 2-1. 2-1 leaves you +8 and is a high mid. So if someone decides to, duck into something, or they duck that high and you throw out that mid, you're still going to catch them. Whereas 1-2 is just as fast and still just as good because you're able to enter your 10 hit combo, which that's a good way to throw off opponents and catch them off guard. As for the mids, King has great counter hitting tools with his mid pokes. See, he does have one of the best counter hit confirm launchers, that being his down forward 2-1, 13 frames, counter hit confirm. It's a great launching tool, and as I'm sure many of you have seen, the little Majin tech, able to get that guaranteed heat smash. We're going to see if we can do it right here. Oh, hold on, let's try one more time. Oh, didn't set up the bot quite right, but that is the general idea of how you do it. And he's got other great tools from his mids that he can poke with, that being forward 1. It is -5 on block, but that's good because you're not fully giving up your turn. You still have the ability to move around and, take your turn back. You could seal your turn back with that by going for a giant swing right after. If you set up here, I'm gonna set up the bot to block just to give an example. Forward 1, yeah, -5. I've had instances where people will throw out a really big move, or they'll be not quite sure what to do because it's such a good mid, a good power mid, that it catches them off guard. A personal favorite mid of mine is Rising 2-2. It is a hit confirmable homing mid that gives you a wall splat, and this can lead to some very devastating stuff at the wall. Here, let me show you. You get your jag sprint follow-ups, but if you hold back, you're able to start up a combo. And look at that, 77 damage into Oki. That's insane. That is actually crazy. So if you got someone on the wall and they like to press, this would be a great tool to use in terms of Oki, because you could catch them mashing, and then there you go, wall splat, guess for your life, into a grab, into another mid, into something else, into a good low. Now, as for King's lows, his down 3 and his forward neutral 2 are his best lows in my opinion. Now, as for why, forward neutral 2 is about a 20 frame low considering the movement options you have to do with it. It does come out at 18. You still have to do that forward and neutral, so about 20, but it is an amazing tool and has semi-tracking properties at times. I'm not going to be biased here. I'll be completely honest with you. Forward neutral 2 on King, you are able to step it. It is technically linear, but there are some instances where I've had it track. Now, as for down 3, that +1 is very important. And what I mean by that is the fact that you're +1, if someone decides to go for a jab or something like that, since you're King, you have that giant swing, that 10 frame throw. So whatever they trade with, unless they're doing a 1 jab and they automatically get that break, that's it's crazy, dude. You're getting a lot of mileage. Now, touching on the grabs, as I was talking about, with forward 1, or not forward 1, excuse me. Or, well, yes, with forward 1 and down 3, these are good tools you can use to mass grabs, or use them to have a grab follow-up. Now, just because someone breaks a throw doesn't mean your turn's completely up. Most of the time it does, but depending on what throw that is, it can vary. Like, for example, with Giant Swing, when Giant Swing is broken, I believe it's -11. Here, let me set up the bot to take a look. Opponent throw escapes. Minus 13. Minus 13. Okay, but look at the distance. The amount of distance there is, if they were to run in and do anything, if you were to input another giant swing instantly, that would catch them. And looking at that throw break number is very important. Look at that. Quarter circle forward 1. It is a 11 frame grab. Minus 2 on break. Okay? I want to help you understand how big that is. Minus 3 for generics. Minus 6 for that generic. Tijuana Twister, minus 6. Tombstone. Tombstone's minus 2 as well. That's another throw you should be going for. My goodness, 11 frames as well. And the damage is huge that you get off Tombstone. I believe it is about 60 damage. Here, let's take a look. 53 damage. So you're getting, what, 58 in rage? Like, it's a no-brainer to understand the value of your throws being broken, in my opinion. But that comes with mastery, because if you're able to understand the type of positioning or how to use your minus frames properly, like how to move or what you can poke with based on your opponent's behavior, this creates the perfect mask for your grab that you're going to need as a luchador. All right, so jumping off what I was talking about with the throws, the chain throws are very similar in that sense with how you want to use their routes. Understanding chain throws goes a long way with mastery of King, and sitting down with each one, understanding the variations helps. For example, with Screwdriver or the Mexican Magma Driver, it's a 50-50, that's the start of it, into an unbreakable throw, into a 50-50, into a 30-30-30, because you can do Samurai Rock. But if the next throw hits, the throw after that is unbreakable, and then it's back into a 30-30-30 because you can do Sol Naciente, or you could do either variation that leads a Screwdriver, and then the final one is another 50-50. Now with each slam, that's another opportunity for the grab to get broken. That's when you should be doing your inputs and deciding when you're going to do it. Now, with that being said, it's important to recognize when an opponent is mashing breaks. Easier ways to do that instead of just using chain throws is to use Giant Swing and Shining Wizard. Both have the same exact animation. Both are unique from the average, up forward 1+2 throw to that one. The difference is minute. I'll do a zoom in on it when I'm editing, but basically those are different. But Giant Swing and Shining Wizard are the same type of looking 1+2 throw. Now, a lot of people aren't going to look that close at it, but they're the easiest ones to use. They're the easiest ones to throw out, if we're being honest. They're the ones that are going to give you the most mileage. So, with that being said, if you're able to use those and you're able to see, okay, he's leaning more towards one breaks, or okay, he's watching for the 1+2 and he's looking for the animation, you can kind of set that up and start to go ahead and attack him with the chain throws and see, okay, is he more prone to holding 2? All right, is he going to hold 1? If you're able to recognize that with the smaller throws that you have, then you will be able to pick up on an opponent's small tendencies and be able to break them entirely. You'll be able to fully fucking break them because it'll feel like this throw's unbreakable, and they'll think you're one step ahead, or or they don't know what's happening, or I don't know King. And the reason why is because it's just rock, paper, scissors, and you're just playing it better. Like that's all there is to it. Gimmicks. People are always talking about, this character's just another gimmick character. They're just cheesing me with this. They're doing that. Let's talk about what the word gimmick would mean to King if he were real. Gimmicks are the showmanship of what professional wrestling is. How does that relate to King? Well, if you haven't noticed, he's a wrestler. Like, more specifically, he's a técnico, or a good guy, or a face. In Lucha Libre, that is what they were referred to as, whereas the heel, Armor King, for example, Rudo, that's the bad guy. This is represented in everything down to the lore, down to his move set, down to his neutral, down to his cheese. Basically, the point I'm trying to get at is that if you have this understanding of King and an understanding of professional wrestling, because that is very important to his character, and I guarantee you 90% of King players are wrestling fans. Fuck that. 100% of King players are wrestling fans. Okay? Like, that's why we picked him up. Like, come on, man. But basically, the point I'm trying to get at, like I said, all right, is understanding how King was designed will help you pace yourself with using his tools adequately. Think about it like this. In a wrestling match, are you seeing the guy shoot for the finisher off rip unless his name is Bill Goldberg? No, you're not. So you probably shouldn't be chucking out that up forward 3+4 immediately off rip. You got to save that for when your back's at the wall, when you're backed into a corner, like a babyface would do when he's getting his fire trying to create that comeback. You're hulking up. You need to build that momentum up so that way you can have that explosive moment, so you can get that crazy chain throw, so you can get that RKO finally. So that way, it's the pop moment for you. You're the crowd. You need to pop yourself, okay? You need to go in there with the understanding of, all right, this needs to make sense. We need to get from A to B. So you got to use your jab pressure. You got to use your small Tekken tools to set them up so you can mask your throws better, so you can use your chain throws, so you can get them off balance, off centered, so that way the gimmicks, the cheese that you use, the moonsaults randomly, oh, why is this working? Oh, why is the 10-hit combo working? It's because they're so lost in it, they're watching it with you. That's why it works. They get caught up in the showmanship of what King is. That's why Little Majin is so exciting to watch. That's why Brawl Pro is so exciting to watch. They understand King. The way that they move with King is like he is a professional wrestler that is out there at WrestleMania fucking fighting for the title, bro. Like, it bleeds through him in every part of his being. So you need to do your job and put on that 5-star match and be a king.